الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون صدق الله العظيم وصدق مولانا رسول النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Fatiha, as we do when we recite the Surah Yasin, each recitation we do each night, we send the reward to Muslims around the world who are in states of great difficulty and hardship. And tonight, on the first night of Rabiul Awwal, inshallah, we will remember in our du'as, and we will send this gift of what looks like about 200 Yasins to the Uyghurs, the people of Western China who are undergoing terrible oppression. In fact, it's a real toss-up this, but possibly the most persecuted Muslim group on the face of the earth at the moment. So up to 1 million of them are being held in detention camps in China, or what are called sinification camps. Sin here meaning not sin, but China. Where they are being indoctrinated, tortured, persecuted and indoctrinated into recanting their faith. So these are people who the risk for them is not to their life, the risk is to their faith. So we ask Allah to give them a lot of strength, a lot of sabr, and that He preserve their iman through these tremendous trials that they are undergoing. Fatiha. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأصحابه وبارك وسلم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم ربنا افتح علينا فتوح العارفين ووفقنا توفيق الصالحين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم أحينا على الإسلام وأمتنا على الإسلام واشرنا يوم القيامة على الإسلام والإيمان والإحسان يا رب العالمين سمعنا وأطعنا وغفرانك ربنا وعليك المصير برحمتك يا inshallah. So again, apologies about the projector screen. As I say, this is a great test of your memory, so we'll see how you go inshallah. Just the house rules, if we may. And the principle here, of course, is these aren't rules for the sake of rules. These are rules to firstly maintain the adab of guests. For we are guests in this place. MashaAllah, Gamko Sharif afford us this place every year for 12 nights and put it in our trust. And so it's our responsibility to ensure that we are taking care of it and that we return it better than we found it, or at least as good as it was when we found it. That's the responsibility of every single person here, not just the responsibility of those who have volunteered to help out during winter spring. So the basic rule is don't mess and clean up after you, in a nutshell. So there's no food and eating permitted in the Maulid hall. You can bring closed cap water bottles, but no open drinks, please. Second, parents with babies or children who cannot sit quietly must use the parent-baby room. Please do not allow children to disrupt the Maulid with noise or running around. We have provided, as for those who have not, anyone which asked this, anyone not been to WinterSpring before? Hands up, anyone who was a newbie? Newbies. Oh, there's a few ladies who are newbies. Any gents who are any sprogs among the gents? Just one, but they're a bit shy to put their hands up. Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, that's fine. Now, that's really disappointing, guys, because why aren't you bringing a friend who's never been here before? So please, tomorrow, bring a friend who's never been here before. Right? Remember, the purpose of this gathering is to spread the love of the Prophet ﷺ. Yeah? And to show people that it's okay to celebrate Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you want to bring, this is the everything you ever wanted to know about Maulid, but were too afraid to ask. Right? This is the place to come. So bring them. All right? Let them feel welcome, inshallah. Okay, fair. So we have, for those of you who have not been before, we have it's mother baby room, and usually in my classes we have a parent baby room, but for WinterSpring it is actually a mother baby room. Because there are, ladies, some of them will be, feeding and nursing and so forth. So there is a mother baby room. It has full audio visual he hopes. Full audio visual, at least that one's working, that's good. Full audio visual capabilities, and the children can be there. So if kids are messing about, please feel free to take them to the mum baby room. And please don't be offended if your child is making a bit too much noise. Now, you love your child and you can't hear their noise, okay? So if your child is making too much noise for everyone else, someone with an admin badge will come up to you and politely tap you on the shoulder. Please don't be offended. Children who are not going to the youth program are of course welcome to sit in the main hall. We have quite a few of them sitting here already, but ideally towards the back of the hall, not in the front rows. Mobile phones, please. I'm going to check mine. Yes, mobile phones on silent, please. All participants, especially on the ladies' side, sit in neat, close safs. This will help to alleviate wasted space. We are already full, so it doesn't look like there's any space. So this is actually, gents, usually I scold you. Every year I scold you for not seeing properly, but today you look like you're sitting pretty okay. Alhamdulillah. So ladies, as usual, are ready for battle, mashallah. And obviously the ladies' side, we've already had Mubarak to all of us. We've already had the first moving of the partition. That's a WinterSpring tradition. The partition moves more and more this way as the event goes on. But please do ensure that thoroughfares and doorways are kept clear. Please pick up your litter after yourselves. Countryside rules apply. Okay? Leave no trace. Okay? Leave no trace of your presence, please, except the salawat and the fragrance. Fragrance of the salawat rather than the fragrance of your perfume. But please do ensure you, serious note, please do ensure you take your personal belongings with you. Okay? We do a little bit of a sweep at the end. The volunteers will do that at the end of each day. But this building is in use the whole day. Okay? There are lots of classes that take place right before we have this. The class finishes at 7:30. There are about 5 or 6 classes. There are 150 kids. We can't guarantee that if you leave something here, it will be here tomorrow. So please do pick up your belongings after yourself. Parents who are picking up children from the youth program, please pick up your kids without delay. Okay, from the. I know it's nice to sit and chat and stuff. Pick up your kids first, and then chat downstairs, please. And please don't come back to the main hall after you've picked your kids up, because it just creates havoc on the stairs. Chairs at the back are for the elderly, the pregnant, and people with medical problems. Please no children on chairs, and let's just ensure that the chairs, I mean, I can see the chairs have gone all the way, are snaking all the way around the back and all the way around the side as well. The people who are using the chairs, I hope, you need the chairs. Are we winning here? Yes, we are winning, good. So the people who need the chairs should be using them, please. Right, just some sorry, there's a lot of announcements, but I have to do this, I'm sorry, it's another WinterSpring tradition, although it's 8:45. Mums and babies, where's the camera for the mums and babies? Mums and babies, Assalamu alaikum. You're sitting in a working library, so and it's a library and a classroom. Please ensure that you supervise your children at all times. Ensure no food stuff is dropped. We did have a spillage last year. Let's make sure we keep the place safe, please, and tidy. No open drinks allowed in that room. Pick up your litter after your children, including children's litter. I think you know what I mean. Don't touch the wiring and adjust the volume on the TV. You're not a man, so you don't even have that excuse, but even the man would screw it up. So please ask the admin staff if you need help with it. I know men think they can do it, women don't, but just don't touch it anyway. So again? You know what, let's not even go there. Kids are not allowed to loiter in the hallways unsupervised or use the washrooms without parental supervision. So sorry for that long list of announcements, but it is really there to ensure that everyone has a good time, everyone is comfortable, and we all can concentrate on what we are here for, which is to send our peace and blessings on the Prophet ﷺ, to remember him, and to celebrate the Prophet ﷺ. And by the way, in the time that I was reading all those announcements to you, you could have read 500 salawats each. You seriously could have 500 salawats. So I hope you have. Good. Shall we do qasidah from that, please, gents? We've got our brothers from Al-Habib. Where are my volunteers? My volunteers are disappeared. We need the mics, please. Zayn, come. Please help out. Just take them, get the mics. Amr as well, please. Just get, we've got 2 mics here. Just hand it over to brothers. Inshallah. Chapter 1 of Qasidah Mawlid. We're winning now. So we can follow that.
صلي وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صلي وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم صلي وسلم دائما.
We're not moving on from this until I hear you sing
حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صلي وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم
So let me explain something very quickly. And why it is that I kind of, metaphorically speaking, dance around like an idiot trying to get you guys to sing. Okay? You see this? This is a mic. All this is doing is it is magnifying my voice. So if it's just me singing, how many people singing? One. Right? Now when you sing, two things happen. One thing happens in this world, and one thing happens in the spiritual realm. When you recite Quran, when you are reciting salawat on the Prophet ﷺ, when you are praying, all of these things, there's two things that happen. In this world, there's a sound that is produced. It's what you can hear now. Alright? In the spiritual realm, in the realm of the Malakut, at exactly the same time, there is a light that is produced. So the sound appears as light in the spiritual realm. And we know this because the Prophet ﷺ has told us so. When people gather together and they make dhikr, there is a light that illuminates, that shines. It is visible to the inhabitants of the heavens in the same way that the stars are visible through the darkness of the night to the inhabitants of earth. And the angels, they're called sayyahun, the wandering angels. They travel through the universe looking for gatherings of dhikr. So here's the thing, if it's just me and Sidi Mushfiq and the brothers from Manaqib singing and a couple of you guys, we may have a big powerful mic and there may be a lot of sound made, but there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lights. But when all of you sing, you might not make as much sound as me like this. That doesn't matter. That's not the point. There are 200 lights, 250 lights that illuminate the earth. And what we want here in this gathering is not noise, but light. So that's why I want you all to sing. Now when you sing, you can sing like this. But then you don't encourage anyone else to sing. People will sing, your neighbor will sing when they hear you singing, because they don't feel so embarrassed that they can't get the tune properly. So the louder you sing, the louder your neighbor will sing, and then we'll get both the light and the sound. And that's what we want ideally. So let's try again. We're on verse 7 now. Let's start with, and please, let's go from there. And Bismillah, I would like to hear all of you, inshallah. And don't worry, we can't hear any individual voice. Okay? That's how collective singing works. We can't hear any individual voice. Your voice won't be heard. Everyone's voice will be heard. Bismillah.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم وأثبت الوجد خطي عبرات وضنا مثل البهار على خديك والعنم نعم سار طيف من أهوى فأرقني والحب يعترض اللذات بالعالم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا لئيمي في الهوى عذري معذرة مني إليك ولو أنصفت لم تلومي عادتك حالي لا سري بمستتر عن المشاة ولا داري بمنحسب مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم ما حط للنصح لكن لست أسمع إن المحب علي
وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. MashaAllah. Now how did that feel towards the end? Tell me. Didn't it feel nice? You feel like you're lifted up on a wave. That's how it is. This is collective worship, MashaAllah. It's the beauty of it. Barakallah fikum to our beautiful brothers from Manaqib. We'll go on to the soliloquy of the full moon, which is the first and so far only original English language Maulid. So traditional work of Maulid, composed entirely in rhyming English verse, going through the early life of the Prophet ﷺ. For those of you who have not heard it before, the Maulid tradition. Actually, Maulid is not a gathering. Maulid is actually is a genre of literature, specifically a genre of hadith literature, in which the ahadith relating to the birth, early life, and some of the signs of the Prophet ﷺ are gathered together and narrated, but narrated not in the original wording, or narrated as hadith per se, but narrated in a very beautiful poetic form. There are very, very famous works of Maulid, like the Maulid Barzenji, the Maulid Diya'ul-Lami of Habib Omar, our teacher Habib Omar, the Maulid Dibai, and others. These are the great Arab Maulids, but the Arabic language Maulids, I should say. But there are very, very famous Maulids in Indonesian, there are famous Maulids in Swahili, in Urdu actually, in Turkish, and alhamdulillah, finally there is now one in English as well, so we can also benefit from this great, one of the great artistic traditions and literary traditions of the Muslim community, inshallah. So this is called the Soliloquy of the Full Moon, for those of you who have heard it before. The conceit here, or the framing device, what it's called in literature, is that the author of the Maulid has heard many different things about the Prophet ﷺ, and is confused and is not sure what is supposed to believe about the Prophet ﷺ, who the Prophet ﷺ actually was, getting different ideas from different people. So she, because it's written by a young lady, she decides that one night she is going to ask the full moon, because the full moon witnessed the Prophet ﷺ, saw the Prophet ﷺ. So she asks the full moon, tell me about Muhammad ﷺ. And this is this first chapter. The rest of the Maulid is the soliloquy of the full moon. It is the moon's reply to the request to teach us about the Prophet ﷺ. So, inshallah, we'll get into it. I'm not going to recite the original, the opening parts of it tonight, because our time is short. We'll do it, inshallah, tomorrow. The opening Quranic verses and the song, the days of God, inshallah. Okay. So this is the prologue. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Sallallahu ala Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam taslima. The prologue, in which I narrate all of the conversation that one night I partook in with the full moon, in which he described the most perfect of prophets. Salli ya Rabbi wa sallim ala nabiyyina. Salli ya Rabbi wa sallim ala habibina. Salli ya Rabbi wa sallim ala nabiyyina. Salli ya Rabbi wa وسلم على حبيبنا. Come hearken, all ye faithful hearts, to this bewildered one, and to this tale of ancient days do listen and pay heed. The silver moon in radiant fullness I did call upon, as sailing through the sea of heaven rose he in the east. O silver moon, do cast your gaze upon this seeking one, deprived of all my wits, alas, bereft of certainty. There is a restless yearning that has settled in my heart, disturbing all tranquility and haunting every dream. Yet as for that I wish to know, I am unknowing still. So hear me, I implore, O moon, and answer with goodwill. I hear your cry, the moon replied, your earnest bid is heard. Your boldness and your brave request have stirred me unto words. I ask you now of your distress, your disarray of thought. What is this great disquiet that has brought you to my door? There is a name upon my tongue. I've heard it in the trees, a murmur passing in the boughs and passing on the leaves. I've heard it on the gentle waves that softly kiss the strand, and on each blade of swaying grass a dance within the wind. It's whispered in the golden fields and by the riverside, and fills the song of nightingales at morn and eventide. This name proclaimed is echoing in caverns cold and deep, and borne upon the mighty waves of 7 mighty seas. It's carried by the tempest wild unto the ends of earth, and roared by forge and furnace in the sun's tremendous blaze. Some say he was but mortal man, warrior of old, who tried united with a book and conquered every foe. Some say he was a prophet true, one revelation sent, but yet for this in form and state like unto other men. But yet another tale is sung, by voices reverent, quavering, by men weighed down with beards like snow, their eyes alight with wisdom's glow, in voices frail recalling clear a memory passed through hearts of men, and passed down in a mother's milk to infants nursing at the breast. The secret of a love divine, a love profound, a love sublime, primordial light adoring God, before the pen in timeless halls, till into Adam's loins was cast, through seeds of lordly prophets past, at last emerged from faithful womb to shine beyond Arabian dawn. The seal of messengers divine, harbinger of the end of times, the first to rise and to prostrate before the throne for all men's sake, and first to speak and intercede before the Lord as he decreed. I have sought you, I have waited for your night of brightest grace, not in waning nor in waxing, neither crescent young nor old, but a night when you are radiant and splendorous in fullness, that you might relate your memories of him you did behold. O Lord Most High, do sanctify the one prophetic seal, and with your grace perfume the place his blessed form conceals, and elevate and consecrate and hallow evermore Medina's earth, Jerusalem, and blessed Qurra, exalting he whose sandal made them pure. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik alayhi wa ala alihi. Inshallah, chapter 1 tomorrow. Allah. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما تحب وترضى بأن تصلي عليه. I'm not going to give a talk tonight because our time is short, and I did say we'll try to finish by 9:30 at the latest on school days. I just wanted to very quickly, however, introduce the theme for the program of WinterSpring this year, and I'll talk about it a little bit again tomorrow as well, when we have a little bit more time. But over the years, those of you who have been with us know that we've covered various different things. We always have a theme for WinterSpring, and the shuyukh who come to visit, they talk about specific aspects of that theme. So a couple of years ago, we did, for example, the Meccan Seerah and then the Medinan Seerah, and we covered different aspects of each of the scholars spoke about a different aspect of those of the episodes of the Seerah, looking at lessons that we draw out and so forth. Medinan Seerah in the next year. Last year, I think what we covered was some of the roles of the Prophet. Have I got that right? I know it gets mixed up in my head. Some of the roles of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This year, the theme is very different, and it's very simple. And all of the scholars are going to be talking about the same thing. And that is how to connect to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I've asked each of the scholars that comes to give personal reflections on this. This entire series of Mawlids is all about this. It is about forming a connection to the Prophet ﷺ. We live in times of tremendous doubt. We live in times of where holding on to our religion is a very difficult thing to do. Our religion is vast. It's like a tree with many branches and many, many leaves. And it's difficult to encompass the whole thing. So if you're going to hold on to one thing, then you hold on to what is central. Because every tree, no matter how many branches, and no matter how many leaves, and no matter how tangled the roots, has one trunk. And our trunk is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is the trunk of the tree of our faith. The roots are hidden. La ilaha illallah. Those roots are hidden. It's where the sustenance comes from. But the thing that is visible, the first thing visible is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And love for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the thing that will save your iman and save the iman of your children. I kid you not. It is love for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So how do you get this love of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How do you form this attachment and this connection to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? I want to answer the question. I want our scholars to come to answer the question. How come it is that some people, they hear the name Muhammad and they start to cry? But I don't do that. And some people, when they hear a naat, they will start to weep. But I don't do that. And some people, when they hear about the light of the Prophet ﷺ and all these things, then they get amazed, subhanallah, and mashallah, nar takbir, nar risal. But I'm like, yeah, okay. But what works for me is when I hear a story about the Prophet ﷺ going out into the desert to find the eggs that were stolen from a mother bird. Because the mother bird comes to the Prophet ﷺ and says, Ya Rasulullah, my eggs have been stolen, I'm missing my eggs. And the Prophet ﷺ goes out into the desert. He finds this group of Bedouins. He says, you've taken this mother baby's eggs, please return them. She is missing her babies. And that's the thing that makes me cry. Why is that? Look, you don't need 100 connections to the Prophet ﷺ. It's nice if you have 100 connections. You only need one connection. I want everybody who comes here and everyone who's online and everyone who listens to this afterwards to find one connection. One thing that ties your heart to the heart of the Prophet ﷺ. Find that one thing and hold on to it. That's your candle in the darkness. That's your way home. It's your trail of breadcrumbs through the forest. It's your hablullah, the rope of God for you in times when you are buffeted by storms and thunder and lightning, doubt and despair. I want you to find that connection to the Prophet ﷺ. And because of that, I'm not only going to ask our scholars to talk about it, but I want you all to talk about it too. So if you want to write down how you personally connect or have connected to the Prophet ﷺ, please write it down. You can hand it to one of the admin staff. I'll read it out. I will read it out. Because connection to Rasulullah ﷺ is not about how much knowledge you have. It's not about that. I want to know from you, because then maybe that the one way you connect is how someone else who doesn't have that connection, maybe that's how they'll connect. So that's what this winter spring is about. Personal reflections on how to connect to the Prophet ﷺ. How we have learnt it from our teachers, what they have advised, and how our scholars advise in turn us to connect to Rasulullah ﷺ. That is what this winter spring is about. And I hope at the end, each of you will have your connection. Maybe you will have many, but you will have that you're at least one thing that links your heart to the Prophet ﷺ. That when you hear the name Muhammad, you think about that one thing and it brings a tear to your eye. because that you might find that it is that tear on the day of judgment with which Allah will wash you clean. And that tear that you shed, Allahumma salli ala sayyidina, the tear that you shed in the remembrance of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is what will fill your cup from the Holy Ghost. After that drink, when you have that drink, you will never thirst again. And I want all of you to find it. Allah make it easy for us, inshallah. Allah give us the tawfiq and hidayah. We will hear a lot more about this, inshallah, as the days and the nights go on. Now we will read our Asma al-Nabi, inshallah. That's your talk for today. We will read our Asma al-Nabi, and then we will finish off for today. Tomorrow our program, inshallah, will go on a bit longer. I hope none of the children have Saturday school, but the program will go on longer, inshallah. You should just hold that up. Anyhow, bismillah. Inshallah. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. You guys, so it's Sayyidina, let's just have a quick practice here. Sayyidina Muhammadun sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sayyidina Ahmadun sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Perfect. Good. Good, mashallah. Very good. Okay, now I hope you all haven't forgotten what I said about 20 minutes ago. What did I say 20 minutes ago?
Singing loudly.
Well, sing loud was basically it. Thank you. That was, you said what I said in 10 minutes in 2 words. Sound and light. Sound and light. Right? What I want is thunder and lightning. But guys, pace yourself. It's 20 minutes long. Okay? Allah make it easy. Allah make it easy for us. We go home inshallah with this buzzing in our heads. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على من أشرف الأسماء سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا أحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا حميد صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا محمود صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا أحيد صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا وحيد صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا ماحي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا حاشر صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا عاقب صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا طه صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا ياسين صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا طاهر صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مطهر صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا طيب صلى
وسلم سيدنا نبي التوبة صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا حريص عليكم صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا معلوم صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا شهير صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا شاهد صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا شهيد صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مشهود صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا بشير صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مبشر صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا نذير صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا منذر صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا نور صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا سراج صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مصباح صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا هدى صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مهدي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا منير صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا داعي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مدعو صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مجيب صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مجاب صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا حبيب صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا عفو صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا ولي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا حق صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا قوي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا أمين صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا محمود صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا كريم صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مكرم صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مكين صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا متين صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مبين صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مؤمن صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا رسول صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا نبوتي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا ذو حرمتي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا ذو مكانتي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا ذو عز صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا ذو فضل صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مطاع صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مطيع صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا قلم الصدق صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا رحمة صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا بشرى صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا غفور صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا غيث صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا غياث صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا نعمة الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا هدية الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا عرض الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا صراط الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا صراط مستقيم صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا ذكر الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا سيف الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا حزب الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا النجم الثاقب صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مجتبى صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا منتقى صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا أمي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مختار صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا أجير صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا جبار صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا أبو القاسم صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا أبو الطاهر صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا أبو طيب صلى سيدنا صالحون صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مصلحون صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مهيمنون صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا صادقون صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مصدقون صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا صدقون صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا المرسلين صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا المتقين صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا قائد الغر المحجلين صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا بارون صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مبارون صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا وجيه صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا نصيح صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا ناصح صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا وكيل صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا وكيل صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا وكيل صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا شفيق صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مقيم السنة صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مقدس صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا روح القدس صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا روح الحق صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا روح القسط صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا كافي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مكتفي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا بالغ صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مبلغ صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا شافي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا واصل صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا موصول صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا سابق صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا سائق صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا هادي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مهدي صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مقدم صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا عزيز صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا فاضل صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مفضل صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا فاتح صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مفتاح صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مفتاح الرحمة صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مفتاح الجنة صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا عالم الإيمان صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا عالم اليقين صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا هادي الخيرات صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مصعد الحسنات صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مقيم العثرات صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا صاحب الرسالات صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا صاحب الشفاعة صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا صاحب المقام صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا صاحب القدم صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مخصوص بالعلم صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا مخصوص بالمال وسلم سيدنا صاحب الريان صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا رسول الإسلام صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا ربنا صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا غفور صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا حبيب صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا أبو الخير صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا صاحب الإسلام صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا سيد الكونين صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا عين العين صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا عين الرضا صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا سعد الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا سعد الخلق صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا خطيب الغلام صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا علم الهدى صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا كاشف الضرى صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا رافع الهدى صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا عز العرب صلى الله عليه وسلم سيدنا صاحب الفرج صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. اللهم يا رب بجاه نبيك المصطفى ورسولك المرتضى طهر قلوبنا من كل وصف يباعدنا عن مشاهدتك ومحبتك وأمتنا على السنة والجماعة والشوق إلى لقائك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. وصلى الله على سيدنا ومولانا محمد خاتم النبيين وإمام المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. O Allah, for the sake of your chosen prophet, the messenger with whom you are well contented, purify our hearts from every quality that distances us from witnessing you and from your true love. Let us die on the way of the Prophet and his folk, yearning for the meeting with you, O one possessed of utmost majesty, utmost grace. And may God's blessings ever be upon our Master Muhammad, seal of the prophets, leader of the messenger, his family and all companions. May God's peace descend on all the prophets. Praise and thanks for Allah, cherisher and sustainer of the worlds. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah. من أشرقت بدايته أشرقت نهايته. Ibn Ata'illah, the great spiritual master of Alexandria, said, whoever's beginning is illuminated, their ending is likewise illuminated. Alhamdulillah, this has been a beautiful beginning to our gatherings. We hope that it will continue, it will grow stronger, and the light that we radiate to the dwellers of the heavens and to the people of the earth will be greater and stronger and purer on the last night and it is tonight. Allah bless all of you. Jazakumullah khair. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Thank you as well to our brothers and Manaqib and to all the admin who worked very hard setting everything up, both yesterday as well as today. To the Maulid Sharif Center as well, who have, every year without fail they offer us their place, and we're very, very happy with that. For those of you who aren't aware, we have a youth program that runs at exactly the same time as this. It's children who are between, I'm going to get this wrong, 6 and 12, I think. 6 and 12 years old. There's a youth program downstairs, so if your children want to enroll, there's lots of exciting things they do. They kind of mirror what we do, but it's in a much more interactive way. So if you would like your children to register, please go down and see them, and you can, inshallah, maybe tomorrow you can register your kids there. And jazakallah khair to everyone. We'll see you tomorrow, inshallah.